Hey everyone, I'm Ria Mithil, and welcome back to another live webinar with SellerApp. And we are joined by Accrueme today. We are going to be talking about growth capital strategies. So we're here with how you can get your growth capital and how you can grow on Amazon as well. So we have two amazing speakers. First is Dawn, and then is Priyanka. I will have them up in a minute right now. But before we begin, I just want to have a little chat with you all. So, hi, how you all doing? How's your holiday season going? So, if you have seen a lot of sales already for Q4, let us know in the comment box below. And this is going to be a very interactive session. So, make sure that you're interacting with our speakers. If you have any questions, leave them down below and we will answer them right away. Also, just a brief introduction to today's topic for those of you who are just joining. We are going to be talking about how you can grow on Amazon 101. So the two things that you need to grow on Amazon is first is growth capital and second is the right strategy. And we have both for you right here. So without further ado, let me introduce the first speaker for today. Hi Dawn, how's it going?
It's going great. I'm having a great holiday season. I hope you are too.
Oh yeah, I am. It's starting to get cold and it's starting to get cozy and yeah, I mean it's gonna rain cash on Amazon. So
That's
that's
great.
thing. Hi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
I can
you.
see your messages already. Let them drop down below. So, Don, you have a crazy, crazy story. Um, on our first call, I was awestruck. I was like, man, we need to talk about this, and we really need to get your story out here with our audience, to our audience. So, Don, tell us a little bit about Acromy and tell us a little bit about yourself. I know it's going to be covered in the presentation, but
Sure.
just a little introduction on what you're going to be speaking on today.
Sure. Well, Accrueme is a way it's all about growth capital for Amazon sellers in a way that's never been done before. And it's a way that is fair to the seller and fair to us. And again, it's so unique. The biggest objection we get is it sounds too good to be true because people are not used to getting a fair deal in finance. There's always something underneath. And in this case, it's what I would want if I was looking for money. So that's what we put together, and I think people are going to love it.
I'm sure people are going to love it because growth capital is something that people are always looking for. If you have just started your Amazon business or if you're trying to expand your Amazon business, this is the right time to do so. We've already seen an increase in product research tools and product research areas of videos. So we know that you guys are looking for products right now. And to finance them, this is the right place to do so. If you're already selling on Amazon, let's listen to some strategies by Priyanka. I'm bringing her up on the screen right now. Hi Priyanka, how's it going today?
Hi there, Ria. Hi, John. I'm
Hey,
well.
Priyanka,
How are you guys?
doing
Yes,
great.
Priyanka, why don't you introduce yourself and what will you be talking about today?
So, yes, hi. I am Director of Marketing here at SellerApp, and there are a couple of things that I will be addressing today, starting from how to even start your e-commerce business, the various aspects, getting to that from choosing the right product to creating the marketing strategy for that, and of course, eventually delving into the advertising automation of SellerApp and how we bring together the whole unified platform to cater to all the needs of the Amazon sellers. So yeah, pretty excited to be on the same platform as John.
And I
Yeah,
feel the same way, Priyanka. This is great.
Right.
we're gonna have a lot of fun today and we're gonna learn a lot today. So please be engaged in the comment box below. If you have any questions, shoot them at us and we'll be helping you out today. So Priyanka, I'm gonna put you back in the green room and Dawn, we will be speaking to you for now.
Okay, ready for?
So yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
before we start the session, when was the first time you went to a bank? Because this is a very interesting question. When was the first time you all went to a bank? Let me know in the comment box below right now. When was the first time you ever stepped into a bank? And Dawn, tell us your story. When was the first time you went to a bank?
Well, my first time actually going to a bank was when I lived in Brooklyn and I was about 5 or 6 years old. And I thought I found a rock that was gold. And I said to my mother, I got to go to the bank and cash this in. And, here we are. We go to this big bank in Brooklyn, New York, and with a big chunk of rock that I thought was gold and had to put it up on the counter. And they had to come around and tell me, sorry, son, it's not gold. But that was my first time. but I have a second time when I was 11 or 12, and I'm going to tell that story during my presentation, which I think people will find a little interesting.
I am so stoked for it. So let's share your screen and listen to all the stories that you have to say. And this will prove to you that any financial advice that comes from Dawn is like the word of God. Take
Ah,
it. I would. So
all right.
let's get started. I
Okay.
see that the chat option is lightening up. So thank you guys for interacting with us. Dawn, I see your presentation. Let's get started.
All right. Let's get started. Thank you so much, Ria. And I have to tell you that I about 3 months ago, I didn't know anything about Seller App. And so I had to learn. I was referred to Seller App by other service providers in the industry who told me, if you don't know Seller App, you're missing the boat. So I had to reach out and learn. And I am truly blown away at how big and how good and encompassing Seller App is. Anybody that's not already working with Seller App is missing the boat. I'm telling you that flat out. And so now that's just from my heart. I didn't tell you I was going to say anything like that, just the way it is. All right, let me
Thank
dig
you
in.
so much, Dawn. I'm going to use
It's
this
a
as a testimonial.
well, it's the truth. So, when your competitors talk about you behind your back in such a positive way, you know you're doing something right. So let me dig in. I'm going to talk today about a few things. I'm going to do a couple of overview pieces on the mindset of a multimillionaire and the mindset of an entrepreneur. And I think I guarantee you, there are certain pieces that you're going to be able to take from this that'll affect your life today and tomorrow and the next 10 years. I guarantee you. And then we're going to talk a little bit, and it's going to be quick, about Accrueme. And Accrueme is something that is totally unique, a way of financing your Amazon business. You've never seen anything like Accrueme before, ever. I guarantee that without question. All right, so let's dig right in. So what would you say, and this goes right to what Rio was saying, what would you say if your 12-year-old son wants to go to the bank to take out a loan? I mean, I think about that. Anybody that has kids, they want to go and take out a loan at 12 years old, you'd probably think they were crazy. And then that same kid who turns 18, goes to college, gets a job to pay for college, so he doesn't need the money, but he takes out a student loan to buy stocks. Imagine what your parents, what my parents thought. A little crazy. Like, why would you be, taking out loans? Loans are dangerous. That's the way I was brought up, and I think most people are brought up that way. We celebrate when we're paying off a student loan, a car loan, a mortgage. It's something that people are thrilled about. I paid that off. I own it now. But is that really the right way of thinking? And I'll tell you flat out, it's not. But let's dig into that. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself first. I grew up, lower middle class, and I use that term loosely because it was lower middle class. We grew up in Brooklyn, and then we moved to Long Island, which is right outside of Brooklyn. Brooklyn, for those of you who don't know, is actually part of Long Island. Long Island is this Long Island that comes off of Manhattan, and it goes out about 120 miles long and is only about 8 to 12 miles wide. So it's just a big Long Island, and Brooklyn is actually part of Long Island. So my father worked for the United States government, and he believed firmly in civil service jobs. You think about it, they grew up during the Depression, the Great Depression. So safety was everything, and that's what they wanted. But they taught me another thing besides safety, and that was work ethic. So, both my parents had an amazing work ethic. And I'll tell you something that they did with me. And it's something that I did with my kids too when they were younger. So if I wanted money as a kid to go, let's say, to the mall or to go miniature golfing with my friends or anything along those lines, or to go to a baseball game, I couldn't ask my parents for money. It was not allowed. I had to do a job, and then they would pay me that money. So my mother would give me a list of a bunch of jobs around the house. It might be painting the garage doors, cleaning the gutters, all these different jobs that I could just pick any job I want, finish the job, and I get the money. So I had to plan ahead, work, hard, and get money. And the harder I worked, the more money I got. So the biggest job was cleaning the gutters. And, it's a dirty job. It's a messy job. It's a stinky job. It's not something anybody would want to do. Well, one day I needed money for the following day. So I picked the biggest job and I was going to get $5, which was a lot of money at the time. So $5 for the gutters. So I worked literally all day in the summer sun cleaning these gutters in a disgusting job. And when my mother came home, I said, Mom, you owe me $5. I cleaned the gutters. And she said, let's see the job. And so we walked around the house and okay, good, good, good. And then we get to this one part where my parents had put a dormer on the house. So a little bit of a higher point. And she said, you didn't do those up there. I said, well, we don't have a ladder that reaches. She said, you don't get paid unless you finish the job. So the idea is I should have thought about it. I should have really gone to my neighbors who had a longer ladder. And just to put it in perspective, the ladder that I had was an old wooden ladder, all right? Something that none of you would ever go on. But, it took nothing back then for your parents to say, climb that ladder. That's what you had to do. That's all we had. But I could have gone to my neighbors. I know they had longer ladders. I could have figured out a way. And that's what entrepreneurs do. They figure out a way. So we're going to come back to that in a minute. But my parents raised me with a lot of love and a lot of fun and a great work ethic. So yeah, I am that 12-year-old who went to the bank and asked my father to take me to the bank to take out a loan. And my father said to me, why would you want a loan? And I said, Dad, I want to build a credit rating. And he looked at me like I was crazy. Now, understand, my parents had a mortgage, but they didn't have a car loan. They didn't have credit cards. They had none of that. They did not believe in loans at all. You paid for everything in cash. Otherwise, you can get in trouble. Well, I went to the bank because I was I had a paper route. I had 2 paper routes and I had a lot of money. So I had $200 in my pocket. I went to the bank, I put it into the bank, opened up an account, and then I borrowed $200 against that account. Paid it off in 6 months. Now I had $400 in the bank. I borrowed against that and so forth. And I did that a number of times to the point where when I was 16, again, my parents still didn't have credit cards. I had a credit card. When I was 17 and 18 and needed to buy a car, I didn't need anybody to co-sign for me. I had credit rating. I did it all. So that was easy. Then when I was 18 and I went to college, I got a job. I paid for college myself, but there was these student loans and they were very inexpensive. And I looked at it and said, why would I not take this cheap money and invest it? So I took the money on a student loan and I invested it in stocks multiple times. And that enabled me to buy my first house and my first car and start my first business all while I was in college. So, having that kind of money was great. And again, it was, just being a little bit creative at the time, being creative, borrowing when I was, 12 years old, and being creative of borrowing and using money smart when I was 18 years old. Just to put it in perspective on that work ethic, when I was 11 years old, I was the #1 salesman, newspaper salesman on Long Island. And Long Island's got millions of people, just to put it in perspective. It's not a little tiny place, it's a big place. So that was one of my cool things. And, I paid for college myself. And I had a different mentality than my parents. My parents were employee type mentalities. Nothing wrong with that. It's great, but it was not me. And it's not what I wanted to do. My first business that I started was an ice cream truck. And boy, did my parents give me a talking to about how the responsibilities of owning a business. Well, long story short, I think they were very proud of the businesses I've started through the years. So a little background on me. I have a finance and lending background. If you want to link in with me, by the way, it's under my full name, Donald Henig, Henig. You connect with me, I guarantee you I'll respond. And I hate when I go onto LinkedIn and some people just never respond. I don't get it. So I guarantee you'll get responses from me. I've financed in my career hundreds of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars. It's a big number. I created many businesses in many industries like publishing, real estate, mortgage, franchising. And I started an entertainment company at one point, never did it before. But I started an entertainment company, and we did 8 feature-length films with the biggest name stars like Tom Cruise and Natalie Portman and Mark Ruffalo. And we also did the Broadway show Rock of Ages. We created and produced the show Rock of Ages. It ended up as the 26th longest running play of all time on Broadway, which was pretty cool. A lot of fun. I built and sold multiple companies, including at one point, I decided to fix and flip houses. I never did it before. In 18 months, the next 18 months, I bought, fixed, and flipped 300 houses, every one of them for a profit. So it was a lot of fun. And then I took a break. And it was the third break that I took in my career. And this last break ended up being 5 years. And I actually got to the point where I believed I was retired. I was done. I was not coming back. But then I learned about the Amazon world and came up with this unique idea called Accrueme. And because of that, I came out of retirement. And again, we're going to get to that in a couple of minutes, and you'll see. I think you'd come out of retirement for it as well. So let's talk a little bit about the mindset of a multimillionaire, which is really everybody, just about, I'm going to say just about it, because you never say all, but just about all multimillionaires have done it with leverage. And leverage is using other people's money. And it could be your family and friends that give you money, or they invest in your business. It could be a bank loan. It could be debt. It could be investments, other companies that will invest in your business. Is a lot of ways to use leverage. And as a general rule of using leverage, you use it when you're profitable, and only when you're profitable. If you're not profitable and you think getting bigger by using leverage is going to help, you're wrong. It will hurt you. You need to use leverage when you're profitable and when you have that business plan that you know is going to work. So in the Amazon world and e-commerce world, if you have products that you know are already profitable, go big, go big. If you are starting a new product, be careful using leverage. You want to use your own money. So use leverage for your current products, and then you take some of your profit to start your new products, and always be rolling out the next new product, the next new product, the next new product. And that's how you're going to grow that business huge. So one thing to be concerned about with the Amazon world and using leverage, and this is one of the reasons why I got into this, because I didn't like what I saw. Everything that I saw as far as the loans that were available and the capital that was available to Amazon sellers, they all required a very large monthly payment. And you can't grow with a monthly payment. Not a large monthly payment anyway. I remember the first one I looked at, borrow $10,000, pay back 11. It's that simple. Wow, it sounds great. But then I looked at it, and when you ran into the numbers, you realized that that seller would have to earn almost 20% ROI per month to make the payment. It's not worth it. It sounds good, but you have to be careful with those large payments. They will inhibit your growth. And rich people get rich by using other people's money. I can guarantee that. All right, so starting a business. You've all started a business. But I'm going to talk to you about something, because you're going to start this business, you're going to start another business, then another, then another. That's the way life works. You're also going to start this business, or you're in your own business today, and you're going to find different paths to take. And it might be offshoots onto this business. So what are the obstacles that we all face, that we all think about, that we all run into all the time? And one of the big ones is, I don't have enough money. How am I going to start a business? It's impossible. I'm going to give you one quick story of my own, and I've got dozens of them like this. But I'll tell you about when I was about 25 or 26 years old. And I started a mortgage company, and I had 2 partners. And after 6 months of doing extremely well, made a lot of money, but I left it all in the business. I didn't take a single penny in that period of time. I finally went to my partners because they did nothing. And I said, look, this is not working. This is not a partnership. I'm doing everything. I haven't taken anything. It's all in the business. Let's sit down in 2 weeks and break up amicably. Nice, fair way of doing it. Well, the next day I was out of the office. They came into my office and they stole everything. This is before everything was digital, all right? So a checkbook was really an important thing to have. All of the files were all paper files, but that was the only records of anything. A phone system, they literally cleaned me out, took everything. And I went home that night and found out that I was wiped out. I had nothing left in that business. It was all gone. And my assistant, who was at my house with my wife, and she was crying, and she was very upset because she was physically put into a corner. And what are we going to do? Well, here's where we were. I'm like 25, 26 years old. My wife is pregnant with our first child. We have $1,300, all right? $1,300 in the bank. That's it. Not enough to start a business. Well, what we did was I went back to these guys. I gave my assistant some job to do as far as going out and finding an office for a very, very cheap price. I went out and I found desks that people were going to throw out, and I borrowed somebody's truck and moved those desks into this new office that we just did. I went back and negotiated with my other partners, and they didn't want to negotiate about anything. So what I ended up doing was just saying, I just want these files, like a dozen files, just people that were close to me. And the reason I did that is because I knew they were going to close soon. So I knew that there would be cash flow coming in. So I needed that money to get started. And that's the way that I, creatively got the money to start this next business. Just 2 years later, I had one of the largest mortgage companies in New York State. And the other company, the partners I had, they went out of business because they were doing things improperly. I did nothing to put them out of business. I don't, somebody screws me. I live in positivity. I never think about the person that screwed me. That's their life. They have to live with that. I think about, how do I grow positively a bigger business, a better business, help more people, grow that business, make more money. And that's what we do. And I suggest that is always the way to do it. So when I hear the obstacle of I don't have enough money, find a way. There's always a way to do it. The other one is I don't know enough. And all that means is fear. And if you have fear, you'll never know enough. There's only one way to start a business, in my opinion, because it's really just to start stupid. You'll never know enough. And it's a saying that I've used my entire career. Like, if you did enough research as an Amazon seller, if you're in the business, let's just say 3 years, and you looked back at all the things that you had to learn, all the obstacles you had to overcome, it's mind-blowing. If you knew all of that day one, you probably wouldn't have started that business. It's too big of an undertaking. But if you start that business and you take one step and you run into the obstacle, you figure it out, and you take the next step and you find another obstacle, you figure it out. Before you know it, you're in the business for a period of time. You've overcome all these obstacles. You're so far ahead of the game. You know the business, you know the industry inside and out, and there are obstacles for people coming into the business. So you've done it. So just start stupid, never hesitate, just go for it. And as we all know, the only way to learn is by doing. So let's keep going here. I'm going to show you. So this is a little cartoon I put together that I think you might, not only appreciate and understand, but it might be a visual that you'll take with you as well. You see here on the left, the comfort zone, and on the right, you see success. And in between is this brick wall called fear. And you can see the little targets, the little guys. I'm not a very good artist, but they're walking towards success. They want to be successful, and they go towards success, but then they run into this thing called fear, and they end up turning around and going back into their comfort zone. And that's what happens with 99.9% of the people. But if you want that success, you've got to overcome that fear. And to overcome, getting out of that comfort zone, it's easy to say, but there is always fear, and you have to overcome it. And the way to overcome it is just by doing. We all know how to walk 1,000 miles, take one step at a time, right? We all know these things, but you have to do it. And just don't be afraid. Just get in and make it happen, and you will figure it out over a short period of time. All right, some examples of starting stupid. I started a financial planning business when I was in college. I was never a financial planner. I never did residential anything as far as finance goes at that time. But I went and I studied on my own. I took classes on my own. I took all the tests. I got all my licenses. I started a business. I ended up doing very, very well. I started doing them for free, and then I started charging for them. And I did very well where I bought my first house, my first new car, all while I was in college, while I was a financial planner. That financial planning business led me into an opportunity I knew nothing about: residential mortgages. I had a commercial lending background. I didn't know anything about residential mortgages. And I went into that business with no knowledge. And as I said to you earlier, within 2 years, I was one of the largest in New York State. I sold that business 10 years later for a lot of money. I started a franchise. I don't mean buying a franchise. I came up with an idea to franchise the mortgage industry. I built it to 760 units nationwide in 1 year, sold the business 18 months later for a lot of money. I, took some time off and thought about what do I like doing? I love being out on the soccer fields with the kids. So I started a soccer publication, a full newspaper. There were no digital newspapers at the time. So it was a full 32-page newspaper. I was the only person, I was the only employee, did everything. Month number one made $4,000 net profit after all expenses. And within a few months, I was making, about $12,000 a month net profit, and then up from there. Within 6 months, I became the official newspaper for New York State Soccer, 176,000 copies a month. And again, I was the only employee. I was the only one that did anything. I sold that. I started the entertainment company I told you about. I did it in my life. 8 feature-length movies with big-name stars, Broadway show that was one of the most popular of all time, and a lot of fun. Flipped 300 houses in 18 months. Never did it before. Every one of them was profitable. But how do you do that? You just start. You jump in. I found somebody who did a lot of it, and I realized he didn't have a lot of money. So I was able to put money in while I'm learning the business, and he and I both made a lot of money doing it. And now coming back in, funding Amazon merchants in a unique way. And I'm going to show you that right now. So Accrueme, it's the classic start stupid. I never did anything in Amazon. I never did anything in e-commerce. I knew nothing. So I started learning about Amazon and Amazon FBA. So I went to my accountants and I said, do you know any Amazon merchants? And they said, yeah, they had 3. They gave them to me. And I called each one of them. And it just turned out that one was very small, one was a decent size, and one was very large. And at the end, understand, I didn't know what FBA was. I didn't know what FBM was. I knew nothing. At the end, I just wanted to learn. I asked them all, so what do you need? They all said the same thing. We need a good source of capital. All the sources of capital in this industry are not good. I'm like, wow, that's interesting. And so now I did the research, and I found that the sources of capital were mainly working off of your revenue as opposed to profit. I'm like, wow, as a borrower, you could get into a lot of trouble if you're paying off of revenue. So I brainstormed the problem with some friends, my partners today, and we came up with one of the most unique solutions ever. In the next screen, I'm going to explain the solution of Accrueme. But I wrote out an outline of the potential new business. I developed a spreadsheet to see if it made sense for us. And then I developed a spreadsheet to see if it made sense for the seller. And I came back to my partners. I said, oh my God, this is not only good for us, this is great for the seller. This is the best financing that they'll ever get. And I compared it to everything I could find at the time. So that's when we knew we had something good. We had a true win-win. So sellers will do better will do better than a bank while helping the merchant, while helping the seller grow. So everybody wins. It's a true win-win. All right, so here it is. All right, so Accrueme, here's what we came up with. We'll double your capital in the business. So by capital, meaning your inventory at cost plus your receivable from Amazon. Add those two together, and that's what we'll give you. There's no interest. We're not charging any interest right off the bat is, a little crazy to most people. Then if you think if there's no interest, well, there must be fees. There's got to be something, right? There were no fees. We took that out as well. We didn't want there to be anything that, people would have to think about. No credit check. This is amazing, and people don't understand this, but there's no personal guarantee. Every loan you take, you owe personally. This is a business transaction. This is not a personal situation. There's no personal guarantee. And now, as crazy as this is going to sound, no required monthly payments. And what's the thinking there? Well, the thinking there is that if you have the opportunity to grow your business, you should use all your money to grow. Right now, we're in Q4. How dumb would it be to take money out of my business to send to a bank or to any capital provider at this time of year? I should use all of my money to grow and buy more inventory and make money. That's what we should be in this together. So we came up with the idea of no required monthly payments. You pay when it's right for you and your business, not when it's right for us. And that's our theory in general, that, finance. I'm sorry, Amazon. We know finance. We set up a program here. This is the whole thing. And what do we get? We get a small share of profit for as long as you use our money. And we set it up so that you always win. Literally, you can't lose. As long as you're growing, you can't lose. And if you want to grow your business, grow it wildly. We have clients right now that have used our money for almost 2 years and haven't made a payment, but they've grown their business dramatically. And what they're going to do is they're going to sell the business. So what happens then? They sell the business. We get our initial investment plus our accrued profits, the money that we would have made, and they keep all the upside. We don't own any of their business. Pretty interesting, isn't it? All right. So starting stupid in practice again. So to start Accrueme, we thought we had a great idea. We went out to one little conference and we talked about it to a number of sellers. And what we actually did was gave out our own money out of my pocket, to about a dozen sellers just to see if this would work. We had no idea. We had no technology. We had no system to keep track. We were, counting on Excel spreadsheets. That's really what we were doing. We developed the contract the night before our first client signed up with us. All right. Starting stupid in practice. We had no way to research them. We didn't know if they were making money or even last month. We asked them the questions and that's all we got. If they told us they were making money, that's all we had. We had no way of doing it. And our goal was really just to learn. And we did. We thought we were going to lose our money, but we didn't. Every one of those sellers grew rapidly. They just blew it out. It was so, and some of them are still with us today, which is fantastic. All right, so let me wrap up with a quick summary here. Summary. So get out of your comfort zone. Remember that little cartoon that I did. It's something that's not just for business, but for life in general. Getting out of your comfort zone to getting to success. Instead of success, on the other side of that wall could be love, could be happiness. Get out of your comfort zone to get to love and happiness and success. Okay. Start stupid. Just do it. Don't be afraid. Just do it. You have very, very little to lose in the long run. And if you're ever worried about that, write down on a piece of paper, what's the worst that can happen? Remember that one. It's key. What's the worst that can happen? And once you write that down, you're going to find there's very little that's bad. You can just do it. It'll take a lot of fear out of any of your decisions. Save for the purpose of owning a business and growing a business, and also for fun. Go on vacations, enjoy yourself. That is health insurance. Taking care of yourself, walking away from business for a period of time. Focus on your growth, stay positive. Things go wrong, people screw you. Don't fall into that trap. Stay positive, grow your business, have fun, make a lot of money, use other people's money. And by the way, anybody that applies with Accrueme from this webinar at app.accrueme.com will receive a $500 bonus that you never have to repay. So if we fund you, if you apply and you mention SellerApp, and we fund you, you'll get an extra $500 that you'll never have to repay. So it's a little bonus that I don't even think I told Seller App that we were doing, but we're happy to do it with Seller App. So finally, feel free to link in with me. It's Donald Hennig. My Accrueme email is don@accrueme.com. And then again, the website, simple, accrueme.com. It was really great talking to you all. I hope you got something out of it. And I appreciate the time, Seller App. You guys are great, really great. Let me stop sharing and we'll come back.
Thank you so much for that amazing session, Don. Start Stupid by far is my favorite model that's ever been shared on this platform. So it was really motivational to listen to you, and thank you so much for the insights.
Thank you,
Economy does
Ria.
sound too good to be true, and I really appreciate what you're doing for the sellers out there. For people who are wondering how they can get the 500 bonus off, it's in the link. Click the link in the description box below and you'll be able to avail that. And we
Terrific.
have some comments here. So um, sh- we have someone from Aglo Online Retail that wants to say hi. And we have Sharat who said that he was also 10 years old when he went to the bank for the first time. That's a story that I would like to hear, Sharat. So thank you so much for
Yes.
being here.
Send me
um,
your story. Send me your story. I'd love to hear it.
Sharat, if you're watching right now, send your story to Dawn. I will share the email with you in the comment box below. So thank you so much for being here, Dawn. Before we move on to Priyanka, do you have any final comments for us?
Not really. I think that people have the opportunity right now to grow. Nobody knows where Amazon is going to be in 2 years or 4 years or 5 years. Nobody knows. You can think what it is, but nobody knows. The idea is to take advantage of this huge opportunity that you have today. Plan this next year, not to just grow, but plan to 10x your business in 1 year. And that'll force you to think differently than you ever thought before. If you plan to grow by 20%, you could do that just by working harder. Plan to grow, 100, 200, 300%. And that will force you to think differently and go out of the box, get out of your comfort zone, and make a lot more money than you ever imagined. Just do it. Start stupid.
You should really get that printed, Dawn. I love it. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being here. If you have any questions regarding Acrome, growing your capital, leave them in the comment box below. And we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with Priyanka Bora, who will be talking about Amazon strategies to help you grow on Amazon. So we will be right back.
Sellers.
Whoa, there you go.
Are your Amazon PPC campaigns costing you a lot of money? Wishing you could optimize your campaigns to boost your product sales and generate high profits, but lack of time holding you back? Then keep on watching, because boy, do we have something exciting for you. I'm here to tell you that all your problems can be solved in one word: Seller App Advertising Automation. What is it, you ask? Well, Seller App Automation is the industry-leading advertising automation software that can automate all of your routine Amazon PPC tasks and increase your sales. How do we do it? Using data-driven machine learning algorithms, of course. SellerApp will optimize the bids, harvest new keywords, and remove negative keywords, which means better ad position, lower ACoS, and increase in sales volume with a higher return on ad spend. Sounds fantastic, right? So, why use SellerApp automation over anything else out there? Pre-designed, proven rule sets customizable for your goals. Rule sets that are comprehensible by anyone. Grow your sales and ROI while minimizing wasted ad spends. Click the link in the description and sign up on SellerApp. Explore our powerful Seller App automation feature today. Let us do our magic on your Amazon business.
And we are back. So I do see that there is a question for Dawn. This session is meant for growth capital and Amazon strategies, but our team will get back to you shortly with that question. If not, leave it in the comment box below, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. So I am going to bring up Priyanka Bora now. Hi, Priyanka. Thank you so much for being here with us today. How's it
Hi,
going?
hi, Ria. How's it going? It was a great session by Dawn, so really
It
enjoyed
was
speaking.
so motivating and powerful. I was sitting in my seat and I'm like, I need to start stupid. I need to probably sell newspapers.
I know,
So
right?
it was an amazing session, Dawn. And Priyanka, I'm really excited to hear about the strategies that you have with all our Amazon sellers right now. So let's get started with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm looking forward to speaking with all of you. So I'll just start with brief introduction about myself, and then I'll get right into it. I'll dive deep into it.
Perfect.
So, hi guys, I'm director of marketing here at SellerApp. But prior to this, I've worked across U.S., Singapore, and Dubai in varied financial roles at top global financial organizations, generated multi-million dollar businesses, and led cross-functional teams. So I totally resonate with Don when he says start early, start young in his concept on leverage and lending, because I've seen business owners and individuals face the same thing in the financial planning process. So, apart from having a global work experience on multiple industry verticals, I've also served as the CEO of Opal Advertising and Marketing, a platform for businesses to improve their visibility and growth. And now, my stint here at SellerApp, I've been with this company and I'm really enjoying it. So, um, I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see my presentation. Uh,
Yep.
Give me 1 second. All right, there you
For
go.
those of you watching right now, any questions regarding the presentation, leave them in the comment box below, and we'll be happily interacting with you all
You guys see?
later. Yes, I can see your presentation, Priyanka.
Great, 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 perfect. So I'm going to start with, and before we delve deeper into the various aspects of Seller App and what it really does for all you sellers out there, I'd like to talk about starting.
Before you move forward, Priyanka, could you please present the PPT in slideshow? It's currently not in slideshow.
Okay,
Yep.
sorry. Yep, it is in slideshow, I think.
Not sure. There you go.
You can see, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It's still loading, but I think we'll be good to go now. There you go. Yep.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Oh, go ahead, Priyanka. You can continue.
Sure. So, like I said, before I delve deeper into Seller App and the various aspects, I will want to talk about, how starting an e-commerce business looks like. So, primarily, of course, there are multiple functions when you are looking to start your own business or e-commerce company. First and foremost would be to choose the right product or niche. Once you've chosen the right product, then comes, of course, sourcing, logistics. You want to know about its demand, competition, etc. Marketing would be another function. So now, what entails in marketing? Marketing of that product entails keyword research. And I'm also giving it from a seller app standpoint, right? So listing optimization and advertising. Operations consist of everything from handling customer reviews, complaints, inventory management, P&L, profit margins, and all of those combined. So, depending on the phase of e-commerce business or the journey, the challenges could be very different, right? We have built a one-stop unified solution here at SellerApp to cater to all these different phases, whether you're at the launch phase, growth phase, or the mature phase, and really addressing all those different pain points. So now there are multiple suite of tools or solutions rather that we offer. What really differentiates us from our competitors is that they're all great tools, but the difference is that we do have great data, which can be interpreted differently, but it's also backed by human intuition. So we have growth consultants here who really help sellers in their Amazon journey to give you actionable insights and recommendations, right? Let me move on. So everyone is looking for growth here, right? I'm sorry, am I doing something wrong? Can you see my screen?
We can see your screen. Yep.
Okay, great. Sorry, I thought I messed up. Okay. All right. Okay. So when choosing, I want to just entail some steps that, what you should look out for when you're really choosing the product for yourself. So when you're choosing the product, you want to have a clear vision of which industry you want to get into, which category you want to get into. It's not really all about driving the profits. I mean, you really need to build a roadmap and focus on the key actions that you really need to take to reach your goals. And you will reap the profits in the process of it. So, choosing the right product, finding your ideal niche, which would be avoiding the products with seasonal fluctuations. You don't want to, go for these large products with high competition. You want to have a good profit margin. You want to explore different communities and forums to really help you with those niche ideas. And there are multiple ways that you can do that. So that would be the first and foremost thing that you need to consider when you're choosing the product for yourself. You also want to develop a unique brand identity. So humans, a lot of us actually tend to relate or resonate, connect with products with emotion. So you need to really build a brand that not only solves for that customer's pain point, but also really relates to their emotions. I mean, what is it that they need that you're catering to, and that has the ultimate competitive advantage, I would say. That being one, and also you want to calculate all the costs and profit margins that's associated with launching that product. So the most effective way to actually increase your profits on Amazon is by understanding all the associated costs related to it. Evaluate which products are performing well by really closely monitoring them over a period of, let's say, 1 to 3 months, and calculating the long-term storage costs, fulfillment costs, and everything related to that. So, I mean, you don't want to just dive into the competition without just realizing, what the costs look like, and then eventually ending up blowing a hole in your pocket. So you don't want to be doing that. So you need to consider all of these things before you even start gearing up for, getting the right product on board, and then getting your business started or launching your business, right? So now that you have really chosen the right product, you want to launch a product. What happens then? So you want to make sure that your brand or product really gets the right visibility. It ranks well, it gets good impressions, click throughs, and eventually, of course, leading all of that to sales. I mean, that's your end goal, right? So, again, on Amazon, and why we're talking about Amazon here, and why we need to launch a business on Amazon. So everyone's looking for growth, and Amazon has a great supply chain, logistics, fulfillment facilities. Amazon businesses have notable a large customer base, and besides, it's probably about set to reach about 30, well, expected or forecasted rather to reach about 31 billion in revenue by 2023. So, what other place better to launch a product other than Amazon, right? So, all the small and medium-sized businesses can observe almost immediate exposure and really boost their visibility once they're part of the Amazon business. And businesses, not like even customers like you and I alike, prefer to buy a whole variety of products at one place. I mean, you don't want to be running over like if you want apparel or toys or furniture, groceries, they're all under one roof. It doesn't get better than that. So it really varies, which categories you're looking at. And again, as I mentioned, you want them all in one roof. It's just convenient, right? So with a huge share of customer base and of course a lot of web traffic, Amazon businesses are very, very appealing to business owners. Along with that, Amazon also offers a great user experience, fast shipping, fulfillments, which are really great add-ons to B2B e-commerce stores, right? When you look closely, it may not be that simple. Also, Amazon businesses can be a great choice for some sellers and really a terrible option for many. So it really depends on the niche that you're selling, competition within your industry, your business model, the flexibility to comply with Amazon restrictions for sellers, and so on. So now you've chosen the product, you've chosen the marketplace. What next? What is the next step in your e-commerce business, right? You want them to rank and really get the visibility, ideally organically, of course. So how to rank organically? Now, we have a lot of, Amazon gurus and, a lot of propagators who are talking about a lot other things. And I want to focus on a few things here, which will be, sorry, I'm like a little thing with my presentation. Sorry about that. So yes, listing optimization. So, having the right title, bullet points, description, reviews. All of this, first and foremost, is the right, this will really ensure better ranking, better visibility, better ranking on the Amazon SERPs. That would, if you get this right, you get the latter part right. So that would be one. Secondly, you want to have your listing on all platforms. So, the way it's, better images, visually appealing, and it should look okay on a desktop versus, also on a mobile platform. All of that, you should ensure that, you have the listings right and they appear right in various modes. So that would be one. Now, use of powerful keywords would be another way to really ensure better organic rankings on your Amazon platform. So having the right keywords included in your descriptions, including like backend search terms, long tail keywords, all of them is a great start rather. Whether you're shortlisting keywords from SEO standpoint or your PPC, SellerApp really provides you with a complete data of the keyword, monthly search volumes, real-time PPC insights, cost, impression rates, to really pick out only the best keywords that would be needed in your description. So you really gain the insight of the exact data that you need, and you can quickly analyze that to pinpoint the search behavior and also the profitability of the product. So that being said, another thing that I did want to mention here is that you can have different products all in different phases of your journey, but you need to have the right keywords in place, right? Amazon algorithm is constantly changing and evolving. So we also need to keep constantly changing our keywords too, to get the ranking that we are expecting to get. So in a nutshell, I would say we've recently launched a product. Make sure our products are good, our keywords are optimized, titles, images, everything A+ content, all are good to really, get the right ranking in place. So moving on from here, as a next step, I am going to talk about Amazon PPC now. So the best way, as they always say, and I said all those gurus are constantly harping or ranting about, is advertising on Amazon, right? Now, before we get into that, I did want to talk very briefly about what is Amazon PPC, right? It's actually, it's a company's internal ad system that really allows its sellers to strategically place ads for their products on Amazon's as well as their product pages. So Amazon businesses of all sizes should have an effective PPC or advertising strategy. After all, there are over 350 million products on Amazon, and listings can easily get lost in that big, deep sea of competition that you face on a daily basis on Amazon. So when you advertise your product, it offers several benefits. Some of them could be higher rankings, improvement in your organic rankings, number of clicks are charged and not just impressions, and also it reaches a wider audience. So whether you have a large or a small advertising budget, there is an ad plan for everyone on Amazon, and tons of evidence to really support the benefits. Excuse me. So through this webinar today, I'll really try to touch upon Amazon automation, along with some expert tips to really help boost sales and conversions while maintaining the optimal ROI in place. So there we go. All right, the importance of advertising. So again, all of these things that you see here on my slide: improving market share of your brand by targeting the competition products, better discoverability, desirability of the product, and of course, higher organic rankings. These all transcend to having the right strategy in place. Now, how do you really create that winning advertising strategy for Amazon, right? So here are some like crucial aspects that you want to consider before creating that robust Amazon management strategy. You want to choose the right product, which we've already discussed, and what you want to promote on Amazon. You want to carry out extensive keyword research for that product, which suit your product listings. You want to examine every type of PPC campaign. Now, sponsored brands, sponsored products, and of course, you want to play around with automatic as well as manual keyword targeting to find out what's the best for your listing. So after you've launched your campaign, you also must wait for about, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks before really analyzing those performance reports and really make deliberate adjustments to it. So, again, to monitor our performances or your campaigns, SellerApp's Campaign Manager, that's a great tool. And all of you watching should definitely get hooked to that because it does give you a detailed report on all the important KPIs like clicks, impressions, total sales, amount spent on ads, etc. So this way you can really improvise on your existing campaigns as well as your future campaigns. It will not only provide accurate insights on your overall campaign performance, but also improve your organic rankings. So what you can also do, another tip and expert tip is that, so if you've not used your automatic campaigns, oh, sorry, you cannot come up with like a manual keyword on your own. What you can typically do is utilize your automatic campaigns to look for the appropriate or right keywords and use them on your manual campaign. So keep a lookout for that too. So optimizing your campaigns is, as we all know, it's a boost for your product sales and helps you generating high profits. So I would say, I mean, obviously we're talking about this. So SellerApp is the, industry leading advertising automation software to really automate all of your PPC tasks. We will optimize bids for you, harvest new keywords, remove negative keywords, which all, so it will lead to better ad position, lower ACoS, higher return on your advertising costs, and of course, it will eventually lead to increase in sales. So it is one of the fastest ways to boost your product visibility and also overall sales volume. So before I conclude, I would just want to say that optimizing your campaigns can be really tricky. It can be really, it's not like a one size fit all strategy that you can just like place it and it's like a cookie cutter approach where you can use it every time, or every keyword or every campaign can be using the same strategy. It will, it's not one which will work well across all the industry verticals. It's highly competitive marketplace, and so therefore applying all these trial and errors, trying different things, having multiple permutations and combinations, ad strategy, really examining it on a timely manner, your campaigns every 2 to 3 weeks, making the relevant or appropriate changes to it, adjustments to it, will be very, very beneficial. So all your advertising efforts should be really aimed at reaching a wider audience and persuading them to buy your products. So with that, I would want to wrap my presentation and just want to add that with SellerApp and Accrueme coming together, we can really both take care of your marketing as well as your financing needs. So since now we're partners, you can reach out to us for all your business needs. And for any other questions, you can actually write to us at support@sellerapp.com.
Thank you so much, Priyanka, for that amazing presentation. That is very well mapped, a need that Amazon sellers have. So thank you so much for that. I have linked the email ID down below. It's support@sellerapp.com. Leave us anything related to your Amazon journey and we will get back to you. And yes, before we move forward for the final comments, Priyanka, do you have anything else that you would like to say to our speakers?
No,
Audience?
just I think hopefully this webinar, you have some key takeaways from here and you would be able to plan your strategies in a way, as we discussed, going by phases and steps that we mentioned, choosing the right product niches, then really having a step-by-step process on creating that brand visibility for yourself, choosing the right keywords, and then of course automating your campaigns. Hopefully, you're able to do this, and we're here to help. So SellerApp is a great tool, and I think y'all should just come and sign up with us.
Amazing. I'm gonna get Dawn back on the stream right now. So thank you so much for this
Hey,
amazing webinar, you all. We are coming to an end, and I've personally learned so much. But before we move forward, check out all the links in the description below. It will lead you to $500 and will lead you to your growth strategies. So click the link in the description box below, and I will see you there. So, Dawn, before we leave, do you have anything else left to say?
yes, anybody that is growing their business on Amazon needs to always be rolling out the next product. And using your product finder on SellerApp is amazing. And then making it fantastic with your PPC strategies and all. I'm really blown away. I'm honest to God, I love SellerApp. I think it's fantastic. And I would tell that to every single seller out there. Anybody that's listening, you got to check it out. It'll make you successful. And then when you're ready to really grow, let me know.
Thank you so much, Darren. Really
It's just the
appreciate
truth.
That was very well said. Well, thank you so much for being here, guys. I'm going to put you back in the green room, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank
it.
you.
So, if you like this video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to our ever-growing Seller App community. And do not forget to leave a comment box in the comment box below to let us know if you enjoyed the webinar. We heard you, and we have an advertising workshop coming for you in New Year's. Keep an eye out for that. It's going to be mind-blogging. It is everything that you need to know about Amazon advertising, and we will be giving it to you for free. So keep an eye out for that advertising workshop. And until the next time I see you all, happy selling.